The ocean is a vast, mysterious world. The ocean is a vast, mysterious world. For centuries, it has been the source of chilling tales, legends of colossal beasts lurking in its crushing depths. Most are just stories, campfire tales for sailors. But what if one of them wasn't? Today, we're diving into a story that blurs the line between folklore and a terrifying reality. The disappearance of fisherman Kai Tanaka and the monster that might explain it. Our story begins on a calm, overcast morning in the spring of 2003, in a small, weathered fishing village nestled on the coast of Hokkaido, Japan. The village lived and breathed by the sea, and among its most respected fishermen was 58-year-old Kai Tanaka. Kai wasn't just experienced, he was part of the ocean's rhythm. He knew its moods, its secrets, and its dangers better than anyone. He'd spent over 40 years on these waters, his face a road map of sun and sea salt. His boat, the Umi no Tamashi, or Soul of the Sea, was as familiar a sight in the harbor as the rising sun. On that fateful day, Kai set out alone, just as he had thousands of times before. The forecast was clear, the sea was calm. He told his wife he'd be back by dusk with a haul of squid and tuna. He kissed her goodbye, his familiar smile reassuring, and motored out past the breakwater, a lone silhouette against the gray morning light. But as dusk settled, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, the Umi no Tamashi was nowhere to be seen. Panic began to creep into the village like the cold evening fog. It was unlike Kai to be late without radioing in. The Coast Guard was alerted, and a search began immediately. For days, boats and helicopters crisscrossed the search area, a widening grid of desperate hope. The community held its breath, praying for a miracle, for the familiar sight of Kai's boat chugging back into the harbor. After 4 agonizing days, they found it. The Umi no Tamashi was discovered adrift, miles from Kai's usual fishing grounds. The scene on board was deeply unsettling. The boat was intact, no signs of a collision or a catastrophic storm. The engine had fuel. Kai's personal effects, his wallet, his keys, his family photo, were all untouched in the cabin. The fishing lines were still in the water, but they hadn't been neatly stowed. They were snapped, not cut, but snapped, as if by an immense, sudden force. And on the deck, something else. Deep, gouge-like scratches were scraped into the wooden rail of the boat. They were wide, curved, and looked like they had been made by something of incredible size and power. Kai Tanaka, however, was gone. Vanished without a trace. The official investigation was brief and inconclusive. The authorities concluded that Kai had likely been swept overboard by a rogue wave, a tragic but common accident at sea. The snapped lines? A snag on the ocean floor. The scratches? Damage from debris. The case was closed, filed away as another unfortunate loss to the unforgiving ocean. For his family and the village, it was a heartbreaking end with no real answers. But for some of the older fishermen, the official explanation didn't sit right. It felt too simple, too clean. It didn't account for the strange details, the feeling of wrongness that clung to the empty boat. They spoke in hushed tones, recalling old legends, stories their grandfathers had told them, stories of a creature from the deep. This is where the story takes a turn, from a tragic mystery into the realm of chilling folklore. The old-timers spoke of the Akuma Kujira, the demon whale. It wasn't a whale in the biological sense, but a monstrous, aggressive sea beast with a malevolent intelligence. Legends described it as being larger than any known whale, with mottled, scarred skin the color of a deep-sea storm. Its most terrifying feature, according to the tales, were its colossal, crab-like pincers or claws near its head, strong enough to tear ships apart. The Akuma Kujira was said to be a guardian of the deep, a creature of immense power that would occasionally surface to drag fishermen and their boats down into the abyss. For generations, these stories were used to scare children and caution overzealous young fishermen. No one took them literally. But now, with Kai's inexplicable disappearance, the old tales resurfaced with a new, terrifying weight. Could the snapped fishing lines have been broken by a struggle with such a creature? And what about those deep, curved gouges on the boat's rail? Could they have been left by the claws of the Akuma Kujira? The idea seemed insane, a desperate leap from grief into fantasy. But the more the locals thought about it, the more the pieces seemed to fit the monstrous narrative. This theory gained even more traction when a retired marine biologist, Dr. Kenji Miyamoto, heard about the case. Intrigued by the intersection of folklore and a real-world mystery, he traveled to the village. He examined the photographs of the Umi no Tamashi and was particularly struck by the scratches. He agreed they were unlike any damage he'd ever seen from a collision with a boat, rocks, or even known sea animals like sharks or giant squid. He stated that the force required to snap industrial-grade fishing lines in such a way would have to be astronomical. While he stopped short of endorsing the existence of a literal demon whale, he did admit that the deep ocean remains the last great unexplored frontier on our planet. We know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of our own seas. Could an undiscovered colossal cephalopod or a prehistoric marine reptile, long thought extinct, still be thriving in the crushing pressures of the deep? Animals like the colossal squid were once thought to be myths, the stuff of sea shanties, until we found physical proof of their existence. The ocean is full of surprises. Every year new species are discovered, some of which defy our understanding of biology. Perhaps the Akuma Kujira isn't a demon, but an undiscovered apex predator, a relic from a bygone age that has remained hidden from science. This possibility offers a chilling alternative to the official story. Imagine Kai Tanaka on his boat that day. The sea is calm. Suddenly, a colossal shadow moves beneath him. His lines, baited for tuna, are pulled with a force he's never felt before. The powerful winch on his boat groans. The lines stretch taut and then snap with a deafening crack. Before he can even process what's happening, a monstrous form breaks the surface. It's bigger than his boat, a nightmare of mottled flesh and terrifying clawed appendages. The creature latches onto the side of his vessel, its claws gouging deep into the wood. In that moment, Kai Tanaka came face to face with a legend, a creature from the deepest, darkest corners of the ocean's imagination. And then, he was gone. Today, Kai Tanaka's disappearance remains officially unsolved. A plaque in his memory stands in the village harbor, a solemn reminder of a man lost to the sea. But for those who know the story, who've seen the pictures of the damaged boat and heard the whispers of the Akuma Kujira, it's more than just a tragedy. It's a terrifying question mark. It serves as a humbling reminder that no matter how much we think we know, the ocean keeps its secrets well. And sometimes those secrets are monstrous. What do you think happened to Kai Tanaka? A tragic accident or a victim of a creature that lurks in the abyss? Let me know your theories in the comments below. We may never know the truth, but it's a story that reminds us to always respect the profound and sometimes terrifying mystery of the deep. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy diving into mysteries like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next exploration into the unknown. We'll see you in the next video.